Take two. I haven't had any tech issues this month yet. I mean, we're already 4 days into the month, so that's good. But again, so I'm back. I didn't save the last one. Thank you guys all who were here. But we have a scheduled live, and we are going to be talking about solutions for fibroid health, women's health, hormone health, all those things, but in particular, some solutions that are going to help you affordably manage your fibroids if you're like me and that's something that. So as you guys join,
Just connecting.
give me, there we go, we're
there
here.
We are.
Yep. So I did, the most responsible tech thing possible and just restarted my tablet because that just, turning stuff off and turning it back on always fixes it, I think.
Hey,
and that's about as techie as I can get.
That works for me about 90% of the time. So when you said that, you know what I did? I actually literally rebooted my cell phone. I shut my cell phone down and then I turned it back on.
Yeah.
Happy Saturday. How are you doing, dear?
You know what? I'm going to be perfectly honest. It is a heavy week because I don't know if y'all have seen in the news that there was a shooting in Michigan that is 20 minutes from my house. So I do have people at my place of worship who there were children there that were, are emotionally traumatized, and a couple of my clients as well. They were personally affected. We're very close friends to the kids that were lost. So we're just still showing up, but I'm doing a lot of self-care this weekend. I went to a salt room last night. I'm going to go to a red sauna after this, so I'm just working on detoxing my body and my emotions and holding the line for whoever I need to and showing up when I can.
Well, that's what's most important. Unfortunately, none of us can control it and prevent it 1000%. First and foremost, my heart goes out to that family there in Michigan. And my heart goes out to you and your friends who were impacted. This is nothing that our nation should take lightly at all, that the world should take lightly, It just really, I have a feeling of mixed emotions. I get a feeling of enragement. I get a feeling of empathy. I get a feeling of almost hopelessness because we hear about this every so often in these schools and neighborhoods. And it's just like, why, why?
Exactly.
So I definitely will be certain to say a prayer for those individuals tonight.
Yep.
So thank you for being so transparent. At the end of the day, just being honest with yourself is what's most important. That's part of the self-care journey, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because every day I keep being like, well, I wasn't directly impacted, so why? And then I just can't sleep and I just hold the emotions in. So it's like, nope, we're gonna acknowledge and talk about it. And
absolutely.
There's people that are way more affected than me, but I can still cry with them. I don't know what they're going through. I can't say that I have any of their experience, but I can say I can cry with them.
Right, right. That says a lot about you. It really does. And I commend you for that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
But so we do have 6 people on, everyone, and please again in the comments let us know where you are watching us from. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for dealing with the technical difficulties, but we are here and talking about something that is near and dear to my heart because, girl, like, why every other time that we do this, then I will be in the middle of it. I'm like, I'm on day 3. I'm on day 3 right now.
That happened before. So it happened before.
Yes. Yes. So I'm like, yeah, to be extremely personal, this is something. So we are talking about women's health today. In particular, one of the things that happened to a lot of women of color dealing with fibroids. And so I'm going to turn it over to my friend Latoya. She's going to tell you guys who she is, what her expertise is, what she's been doing, and share some resources so that you can manage through this in a way that's going to be good for you economically, as well as get you the solutions that you need.
Absolutely. So Tashina, before we get started, Thank you for having me. There are probably 1,000 other things we can all be doing on a Saturday morning. So I don't take it for granted. I truly appreciate you. I appreciate your sisterhood. I appreciate your support just for having me here. Hi, everybody. My name is Latoya Dwight, and I am the founder of the Fibroid Pandemic, as well as the Run FAR 5K. FAR is an acronym for Fibroid Awareness and Resources. And basically, my organization was created to help provide resources to people who are looking for fibroid healing, as well as looking to eradicate period poverty and unnecessary hysterectomies. Typically about 70% of individuals who are within their baby bearing ages. And the reason why I keep saying individuals is because somebody came for me, somebody attacked me when I said women. And then I would say women with an X, women with a Y. And that still did not sit well. And I totally understand and respect that. So, individuals who are looking for fibroid healing, right? About 70% of people within their baby bearing age who have a uterus will experience uterine fibroids. Some may be symptomatic, some may be asymptomatic. And within that segment, 80% are Black women. So although my target market is Black women, it's also people in general who experience and suffer from uterine fibroids. They are non-benign tumors, non-cancerous tumors. And they can go from the size of a tiny, tiny seedling to a strawberry, a plum, peach, pear, all the way up to a cantaloupe or small watermelon. My journey actually started. I had an IUD implanted. At the time, my boyfriend and I were dating. We both agreed that we didn't want to have unnecessary, unplanned pregnancy. So I got the IUD. Within a certain number of months, certain number of years, that IUD has to be replaced. I went to go get it replaced. And my doctor, who I was going to at the time for about 12 and a half years, she couldn't find it. So they sent me into ultrasound. And not only did the ultrasound tech locate the IUD, but she also said, "Hey, how are the fibroids coming along?" And I go, "What's that?" Had no idea that there were fibroids on my uterus. Got back into the doctor's quarters and just had a conversation, very candid. She's like, "Yeah, so we saw some fibroids on the ultrasound. We recommend a hysterectomy." This was literally all within an hour, hour and a half. Remember, I was just simply going to get my IUD replaced. And by profession, I'm an employee benefits consultant. So I negotiate business to business contracts with insurance carriers on behalf of employers. So I'm doing multi-million-dollar contracts, and I see these claims and bills and hospital bills a lot of times. So although I did not, whatever it feels like to be in need of a hysterectomy, right? I know I didn't feel bad enough. I didn't feel physically sick because I know a hysterectomy is a major surgery. So I asked her questions, but what are fibroids? What does that mean? Is that like a death sentence? Is it a sexually transmitted disease? Is it hereditary? Can I just get the IUD taken out forever and they go away? What is it? What is are they? I had no idea. And very cavalier, she said, "Well, it's like, they're like tumors, you just cut them away. They're just like kudzu. You cut them away, they're just going to grow back. So I recommend you get a hysterectomy." So that was very puzzling to me because kudzu is like weeds that grow on the side of the building. So she literally, this doctor who I was going to for over 12 years, compared my womb, the place where life is birthed out of. She compared my womb to weeds. And I thought that was very, very inconsiderate and pretty condescending, to be rather honest with you. So I kept asking her questions, and I think she felt as though I was trying to challenge her, when all I was trying to do was just to gain a really better understanding of what this fibroid thing was. I went home, told my then boyfriend, I cried. He's like, "What's going on? What's wrong with you?" So that added another element of frustration, humiliation, and because I couldn't explain it to him. So he's looking at me like I got three heads, And so that really honestly started my journey. I went vegan. I went vegetarian. I did yoga, qigong. I ate for my blood type. I went the whole blood type diet. And eventually I did have uterine fibroid embolization, which it's not surgery. I didn't get cut. It's an outpatient procedure, which simply blocks off the blood supply to the fibroids. My two largest fibroids were 7 centimeters and 11 centimeters. So no wonder why people were asking me, was I pregnant? Because I looked about 5 months pregnant. And I just couldn't understand it because I used to be a boot camp trainer. I used to train boot camps and fitness sessions, one-on-one private trainings. And I honestly just thought I had that pooch because I was getting older. It's
Right.
funny how the body works, because shortly, probably about 6 months after receiving the diagnosis, all hell broke loose. My menstrual cycles were horrible. The bloating, the acne, the hair falling out. I mean, it was bad. And so, I literally was like, I felt like my body was betraying me. And when I had my procedure, the UFE, I did post on my personal Facebook page. I said, I just kind of told my story, and I put up a video, which I didn't know at the time, who's now my husband. He recorded a video of me when I was in the facility having my procedure, and I was kind of like under anesthesia a little bit. And I was talking about the land of the Smurfs. So I put the video up and posted. Yeah, I kind of made it a little bit lighthearted, but also was very transparent about my journey. And literally the floodgates opened. I mean, between men and young guys and women reaching out saying, hey, that was for me. That was for my mom. That was for my sister. That was for my daughter. That's for my girlfriend, my wife. I wish I would have met you 6 months ago, because I could have talked to my ex-wife about it, and literally, I started crying between all the text messages and DMs and telephone calls. Like, I had no idea you had these, Latoya, and I knew right then and there, Tashina, I knew that I was onto something. And I knew that if these few people are having these, this type of connection with my one post, just imagine how many other hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands. So that literally started the fibroid pandemic. And I know I said a lot. Hey
No,
guys.
awesome, awesome. Thank you, everyone that has joined us. We are talking about women's health, hormone health, and in particular fibroids, of which both of us have conquered through. And if there's just a few of you that maybe not know me, I'm just going to really quick tell you my story. I'm actually in my second journey of thriving through fibroids
I
right
like
now.
it,
And so,
thriving through fibroid.
so I actually and so my experience was long and drawn out, and the first round of it was from 2013 through 2015,
Mm-hmm.
and basically just trying to find some solutions, and feeling like people were telling me I was crazy.
Yes.
It just started like with excessive bleeding, and they're like, well, are you in pain? And I'm like, no, but like bleeding through my clothes every day is kind of not convenient for my active lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so can you guys help me? And then I started to be in pain. And then the excessive bleeding got to the point where I was bleeding usually 25 days out of the month. And again, it was excessive. I would have to triple up.
Yep.
And if I
Yes.
still didn't get to a bathroom within 3 hours, I distinctly remember being over someone's house and staying more than 2 hours, and it was wintertime, and bleeding through all of my protection, through a skirt, through a coat, onto their chair, and feeling the most amount of shame and crying in the bathroom. And thankfully it was another understanding woman. She's like, it's no big deal. It's a
Mm-hmm.
it's a pillow on here. It's gonna go on a watch. It's all good.
Yep.
And so there was test after test, and it took like 11 months for me to find out that, oh, you have fibroids, and this is the reason, and here's your options, and you can live with it. And there was no guidance. There was no like, okay,
Exactly.
this might be or that, and no one else was talking about it. And so I just tried to suffer with it for about another 11 months until it was super unbearable. And
Mm-hmm.
then thankfully I was able to get a myomectomy.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, you probably should get a hysterectomy because they're going to come back, and, you're going to be miserable again and all this good stuff. And so then I started having heavy bleeding right before COVID hit
Mm-hmm.
again. And I went to my doctor and I said, hey, I need to figure this out. And my doctor at the time was like, are you having any major symptoms? And I said, no, I just have a little bit of heavy bleeding right now. Well, come back to me when it gets worse. And I said, no, we've been here before. I'm going to go to functional medicine and I'm going to talk to them.
Yes.
And so it was difficult to get into functional medicine because I was no longer priority
Mm-hmm.
when COVID hit. Um, But then, yeah, finally, it wasn't a whole long process just to find out that I had fibroids again because I was advocating for myself. I was like, this is not normal and
Mhm.
we need to get to the root cause. So at this point in time, I have fibroids again. I may have to have another myomectomy, but again, I'm thriving through it. I'm not in
Good for
pain
you.
because I've changed my diet. You know, I use herbs. I'm certified in herbs and essential oils. I know, you know, what my body needs.
Uh-huh.
I take the amount of rest that I need to. So just using all the tools that I have as a holistic wellness coach
Mm-hmm.
and eating what my body needs. I have this amazing scan where you can eat exactly what your body needs. And so the interesting thing is, even with functional medicine, they weren't even really able to help me because they told me to go vegan. So I went vegan because they said they're just going to disappear if you go vegan. And then in February, I was severely anemic and had no iron in my system.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually used my own tools as a holistic wellness
Mm-hmm.
coach and started eating what my body needed. So now I'm flexitarian. That's what I
I
am.
love
So I'm
it.
flexitarian. So I'll do week, vegetarian week, and then carnivore week. So my body needs to have a certain amount of iron and it'll be funny because I'll hear from vegans and they'll be like, "Well, just eat more beets." And just I'm certified in nutrition. I'm telling you, when I was vegan, I ate all the things. Every body is different. Everybody is different. And I'm so happy that vegan works perfectly fine for you and it fixed everything for you. And I'm so happy the pescatarian worked for this person, but every single person is different. And so I need some hema protein in my life. Like my body is telling me
Mm-hmm.
that, and that's what I need. I don't need it all the time. I don't need it every week, but I do need it some of the time. And so that's my current story journey. And I love sharing these resources from experts like
Mm-hmm.
you because I know there's so much more knowledge and that seriously, you don't have to suffer. Again, I'm in day 3. Yay me. I had the first couple of days, I had a little bit of excessive bleeding, but I'm at home
Mm-hmm.
and I just deal with it.
Right.
And it's not, I don't have any shame around it anymore. But I'm not in pain. I don't have no cramps. I don't have I
Yeah.
have all the tools that I need to feed my body, mostly through food,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that I can't drink alcohol during this time,
Mm-hmm.
drinking a gallon of water, stretching every day. I'm going to an infrared sauna in 30 minutes or so to release some toxins from my body. So just having that knowledge and the tools so that you can thrive through what
Mm-hmm.
you need.
Oh my gosh, you said so much and you are so spot on. But I really want to talk about the veganism part of it. You and I are literally in alignment on that because I was vegan for about, I think it was 2018, or was it 17, 18? COVID's kind of throwing me off here. The whole 2020
Yeah,
is kind
I
of throwing
know,
me
I
off.
know, I
2020 and
know, I
2021 is kind
know.
of throwing me off. But I was vegan for about 11 months. Now, for me, it helped me as far as the inflammation and bloating. That helped me
Right.
tremendously. I was very regular, which was amazing because those who suffer from a lot of different types of wound wellness issues, specifically fibroids, constipation and or diarrhea is a major symptom. Mine was constipation. I wouldn't void. I wouldn't defecate for like 4 days. And like just imagine how many meals and anyway. Um, Veganism worked for me as far as the bloating and inflammation went. However, I it didn't work for me here. In my headspace, I was
Yeah.
always lightheaded. Brain fog, very forgetful, and I thought I was like going crazy. It just didn't work for me. And to your point, it's not a one size fits all. That's what's so important. You know, number one, you kind of touched on it's not a death sentence. Your life is not over. You can still thrive through fibroids, right? But you have to know what works for you. I always tell people it's not a one size fits all. A hysterectomy may be perfect for somebody, and that may be the furthest thing for someone else, like myself. I did not need a hysterectomy. You know, I didn't need it.
Mm.
And I'm so glad that my type A personality advocated for myself and went down a rabbit hole in all these medical journals and scholar articles to figure out what was going on with my body. Because just literally 5 years ago, this information was not out there. It just wasn't
Yep.
out there, you know? And it's very unfortunate because, like I mentioned, you know, there are tens and tens of thousands of women, of people with a uterus who actually go through hysterectomy every single year. If I'm not mistaken, I believe I read this medical write-up. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was 60% of hysterectomies that are performed every year are unnecessary. That should be illegal. Like it
Absolutely.
should be illegal. I'm sorry, it should be illegal because I mean there is no reason why. Now I don't want to go as far as saying no reason why, but the very first thing that a doctor recommends to a 20, 30, or even a 40-year-old should not be hysterectomy unless
Right.
it's a very unique situation. If the
Right.
fibroids are just completely debilitating, you know, I had a friend who, well, who wore Depends, and I can say it because she's spoken out about this. Beautiful,
Right.
gorgeous. You would never know. She like you and I. She wore triple protection, and she wore Depends, and she was getting blood transfusions on a regular basis every month during that time of
Yeah.
year, during that time of month. Like literally, the emergency room, they knew her, right? So it's like
Right.
call up an appointment during that time of month, and she was going through having, you know, blood transfusions. So for her, she was so over it. Her and her husband already had their 2 children, so a hysterectomy was like the best thing ever, you know, and I totally understand. But for someone who is trying to possibly have children, considering having children, or not even that, you just want to preserve your womb. Not even like for me, we're not trying to have children. We're not trying, but we're not planning. It's
Right.
like
Right.
we don't want to have children, but we're not trying to do anything to avoid it. But at the same token, like I don't want to get rid of my parts if I don't have to, because it causes
Exactly.
other things that go untalked about, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have many, many friends, unfortunately, that that's the solution that they were told in their early 30s, and they do not like the consequences. They do not like the early onset of
Of
menopause and all the
menopause,
things that it has done for
the
them. And
mental,
so,
the mental issue, the emotional, mental and emotional disconnect. You know, your body, like you're no longer one. There's a lot that comes with that. You know, the hormone
exactly.
replacement medication that you have to be on practically for the rest of your
Yep.
life. More Von says, I have one, trying to see what's best for me. Yeah, I mean, and I tell people, do your research, you know, a
Yes.
myomectomy, a hysteroscopy, a CESA, UFE, watchful waiting, because like you don't
Right.
have to do any, right? You
Right.
don't have to
Exactly.
do anything about it. There's what's called watchful waiting. Like your doctor told you, come back. Well, no, you already went through this, so you already knew what the situation was, right?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and the fact that there's so many options and they don't list all of those options for you is, and we love the medical community. We have ties to the medical community,
Mm-hmm.
and if it is an emergency situation, that's what you need
Right.
to do. But again, this isn't a death sentence, and therefore you should have all of the options available to you in order to give you some relief.
Absolutely. I agree with you 1,000%. 1,000%.
So yeah, if anyone wants to reach out at any time, definitely do that. Um, Diet definitely, as well as your, reducing your stress levels. There's so many things that you can do to within, 1 to 6 months really reduce your symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many experts. Again, it's one of the things that I help people with, not just this, but with a lot of things and figuring out a personalized nutrition
Mm-hmm.
for themselves. So feel free to reach out anytime.
And I like the way you say that, personalized, because for me, when I started to do yoga and qigong, actually leading up to my procedure, again, I had uterine fibroid embolization, not surgery. I was not cut. I was literally in and out within 4, maybe 6 hours, and back on my feet within 24 to 40 hours. Only reason why I was down for so long is because I had a reaction to the anesthesia. I think they gave me a little bit too much, so I kind of felt really icky for about a day and a half. But I
Right.
mean, the yoga and qigong. Now, I'm the first to admit, I laughed at myself probably the first 10 yoga sessions, because I was really big on boot camps and, you know, circuit trainings. When I did yoga, I'm like, wait, put my leg where? How does this work? Right?
Right, right, right,
But
right,
like when I
right.
tell you, oh my gosh, my symptoms, just simply doing yoga, not even a qigong, but I mean,
Hmm.
doing the yoga, when I tell you how much my body, how can I explain this? not only did my body adapt, but I began to like her more. I began to
Yeah.
like her more. I didn't feel so
Yeah.
betrayed. I didn't feel so betrayed by
Absolutely.
my body. And you know, it took practice. It definitely took practice, you
Yes.
know, and when I tell you that it's an amazing feeling. But then when you kind of go into the whole qigong, that helps as far as the mental space of the yoga, you know, and a lot of the emotional, what word am I looking for? Release, you know, kind of
Yes.
combining the
Yep.
two together. Looks like there's a comment.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jonathan. So that's my friend Jonathan, and he's sticking around and he's listening. And he said he read up on uterine thyroids, and of course, as a man, he can only imagine what we deal with or going through, but stay strong. So definitely appreciate you, because yeah, when you don't have the information and you don't know what's going on,
Mhm.
yeah, just when I say, I mean, I'm sure anyone can imagine, male or female, when I say that I was bleeding excessively for 25 days, you should just be like, that doesn't sound like it's fun, right?
Right,
It doesn't sound
exactly.
like it's
Exactly.
fun.
And I can
Like,
appreciate him for saying that, because one time I was doing an IG live session, just like you and I are doing right now. And this gentleman made a comment. He goes, I'm so happy I'm not a woman. And that was the most ridiculous thing I ever heard, because at some point in your life, more than likely if you either have or had a mom, possibly a daughter, possibly a sister, possibly an auntie, possibly a girlfriend, you know, a wife, a sister friend, you know. And these are things that it's important for you to know too, so you can help advocate for us, because you know she may not be as well versed, or she may not even understand what's going on with her body, you know. And this is kind of a little
yep.
bit sidetracked, but I had a friend who was married, and through physical intercourse or whatever, he realized that she had lumps in her breast. So her husband actually was able to identify that, and they, sure enough, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Not saying that that's the same, but it's what the point I'm making is that it's so important for our male counterparts, for our significant others, for our partners to be as
To,
invested in this, because it's helpful for you to understand what's going on with our bodies. You know, the fact that I haven't defecated in 4 days, and I feel so inflamed that I can't even stand it, and I don't even want to put on a bra or underwear, and I don't even feel happy with myself. And for you to take it as though I'm not attracted to you and I may be cheating is like you're totally not on the same page. So it's good to know what's
exactly.
going on with the body, with her body, or with the individual's body, so that you can have open dialogue, and you know that can really help as far as your relationship goes, because people, you can assume anything.
Right.
Well, you know, we haven't been physically intimate in 3 weeks. Well, that's because I've been bleeding for 25 days
Exactly.
straight.
Exactly.
Like, and I mean, like,
Exactly.
heavily bleeding. Like, and it's like, well, weren't you just on your period 2 weeks ago? It never went off. It never went off.
Yep.
What do you mean?
Yep.
Like, so these are conversations that need to be had. Need to be, and don't
Yes.
be afraid to talk to your doctor, you know. And to my point, if you don't feel as though you're getting the answers you need, second opinion, third opinion. I think I got four. I think I went to four different doctors just to figure out what was going on. And then based on those conversations and those appointments, I made my decision. You know,
Yes.
I mean, some people can go to one doctor and get everything they need. But as we mentioned, there's, you know, myomectomy, there's robotic myomectomy, there's open myomectomy, there's laparoscopic myomectomy, hysteroscopy, there's a hysterectomy, there's Acessa, there's Sonata, there's watchful waiting, there's dieting and exercise and stress relieving, the more holistic route. There are things, 10 things, 10, 11 things I just named that you can do to
Right.
really help, you know, manage the fibroids and
Yep.
thrive, you know. So,
Absolutely.
mm-hmm.
And a combination of some of those, again, we can't really stress enough, like immediately attacking your diet. Like one of the major things that I honestly had to do in this second round of it was stop drinking alcohol
Mm-hmm.
every day of every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Like because that was the only sugar that I was putting in my body, really. You know, I ate very well, and so there's just making sure that you start with that diet, and like you said, the mindfulness, whatever way you choose to do that,
Mm-hmm.
it's just, again, so helpful with the emotional release and getting you in touch with your body. So we had the question again, and I think we touched about this one time. What's your opinions of V steams? Or yeah.
Um, Personally, I've only did it one time, and that was probably about 7, 8 years ago. I don't have a lot of experience with V steams, but what I can say very confidently is know where you're getting your products from. Because
Mm-hmm.
you can Google and go to Instagram, V steam, Yoni steam. Everyone and their mama are offering these types of services. So you have to be
Right.
very, very careful,
Yep.
because a lot of them do have chemicals that can actually adversely impact you negatively. So you want to be careful with that. These
Yep.
themes have been going on literally generations on top of generations. Our ancestors used to do them.
Yep.
So there's definitely um, some proven fact that they are effective for some people. But again, you
Yep.
have to be careful. I know people who live by them, who swear by them.
Right.
Like
Right.
me for myself, I only tried it once, so I can't really speak on it any further than that, though.
Yeah, I would definitely reiterate that. That's one of the things that I'm super in the holistic wellness space, environmental wellness.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have to stop using any beauty care products or support products that are negatively affecting our
Mm-hmm.
hormones. So for me, also V steams haven't been part of my solution. So the second round, I mean, I was buying all the herbs, I was eating tree bark and flowers, and I was doing my home bee steams. I got these things, and like, I didn't really, after doing certain one of my things for like 3 months, I didn't really get any benefit personally
Mm-hmm.
from it. So it just doesn't form a part, but I have good friends that do them.
Mm-hmm.
As part of they've gotten certified, it's part of their massage therapy, something that they do in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So again, there are plenty of people. It just goes back to knowing your body.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that has worked for me, it has been the infrared sauna, and that might not work for
Mm-hmm.
other people. So I actually have like a handheld one, and that will alleviate, when I use that for like 10 minutes, that will alleviate my cramps. And then it seems like, unfortunately, I will dispel quite quickly some of the things that's in the uterus afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But that might not work for other people.
Right.
So just
Right.
try something for 3 months, and it doesn't matter what Google says or what your best friend says, or your friend that just got a certification or whatever says. Just try something for 3 months and see what works for your body.
And I like that. I saw on the diet is so critical. I saw on someone's post, it was a doctor who actually said that I kind of remember who it is, but they said, one of the best things that can really help improve fibroids is dairy. They literally talked about your diet being heavily dairy. And that's like the furthest thing you want. Like, you don't want dairy because it causes inflammation, and bloating,
Yes.
and inflammation and bloating.
Right, right,
and,
right,
and
right,
it's
right,
so
right.
highly estrogenic, which is one of the hormones that
Yes,
contribute
yes, yes,
to
yes, yes.
fibroids. So when I tell you that, I kind of cringed, and I didn't do it, but I probably should. I almost went back and said, Doc, you may want to kind of look into that a little bit further. But I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a
Exactly.
nurse practitioner. I don't claim to be.
Right.
I am the Fibroid Pandemic. I'm the owner of the Fibroid Pandemic, run FAR 5K. I'm an employee benefits consultant. Like, I am not a doctor. So, you know,
Right.
while I know, like you said, my body, I don't feel as though I am qualified. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that, because maybe I probably should, but yeah, really, really eliminating dairy from your diet, 100%. It's so
Yeah.
funny because I just had some toast. I don't really eat bread that much.
Right.
For toast, I do Ezekiel bread. And so,
Right.
but I put real butter on it. I don't
Exactly.
put margarine on it, because that's a whole
Yeah.
other conversation. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do the real deal. But
Yep.
yeah, no dairy, no red meat, no fried foods. little to no sugar. You know, you'll be amazed at how much some of these natural fruits and veggies, natural fruits can really enhance the sugar taste of your food. You
Yeah.
know, like I put dates in, I make my own cereal and put dates in it. And you can put dates in
Yeah.
your smoothies to sweeten it up. You know, such a nice warm taste, you know. So,
Yep. So someone they stated so it's still a lot of trial and error, and I just want to correct that language. It's still a lot of learning. That's
mhm,
what it is. It's not. Don't look at it as a negative thing. When I post this, I'm gonna post. I have a post that I did about when I started eating what my body wanted
mhm,
on Facebook. So I'm gonna put the link in here.
mhm,
And when I went to the doctor in February, after I was 3 months vegan and I went to functional doctor, and she's like, your hemoglobin is 7.1. What's going on? And you have no iron in your system.
mhm,
Of course, that day I felt devastated. I'm like, I am a holistic wellness coach. I am helping other people. How in the world?
mhm,
But number one, I didn't feel miserable
mhm.
because I was using vitamins and supplements and I was using certain
Yes,
things that I shouldn't have been walking around. Like my
right,
doctor is like, how did you even get here? Like,
right.
how are you even functioning?
Wow.
So it was better the second time around
Mhm,
for sure.
mhm.
But within 4 months, at the time, I was showing up as pre-diabetic.
Uh-huh.
I was, had all of those other things going on. And within 4 months of me changing my diet and
Mhm,
eating what my body needed and minimizing the sugars
mhm.
that I had and putting some strength training in and doing specific things for my womb, it was completely turned around in four
Good for
months.
you.
So it's not trial and error, it's
Learning.
learning what you need. And it's not like it took the full 4 months for me to start feeling
Uh-huh.
better. In 4 months, my hemoglobin was normal. I was no longer pre-diabetic. Like
Right.
the things were gone
Right.
through diet. And again, yes, I have the excessive bleeding, but I have ways to manage through that. And I don't have any pain. I don't have any emotional
Oh my
things going on
gosh.
right now. So it's just a learning process, and it does need to be individualized. It
It
has to
does.
be individualized.
I mean, when I tell you, so speaking of bloating and pain, leading up to my menstrual, well, leading up to periods, we're having a real conversation. So
Right, 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 right,
leading up
right.
to my
Mhm.
period, my legs between my knees and my abdomen area, so right around my thighs, would ache. Not hurt, but
Yes.
ache. I mean, I'm just like, would you just
Yes.
come down already? Gosh, why you gotta, like, it would
Right,
just
right,
hurt so bad. And then,
right.
I mean, the cramping, and I mean, popping whatever you, ibuprofen
Right.
and Aleve, and I don't know. It's just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
it was so much. But when I
So
tell you, when I changed my diet, oh my gosh. And I'm not, I want to make sure I don't, I'm not painting a unrealistic picture here, guys. For me, when I change my diet and after I'm a procedure, I don't have any
yep.
cramps. I literally have zero cramps. So zero.
Yes.
So good
Yes.
and bad thing. My menstrual comes on by surprise.
Exactly. It sneaks up on you. It's crazy. It's
Like,
crazy.
and it's
Like
so funny. My
to be
husband's like, why
that
don't you put it in the
way.
calendar? He's like, he was so helpful. He's like, there's this app. Check out this period app, and or just put on the calendar. I said, dude, understand? It doesn't matter what I put in the app. I don't care what the app says. It doesn't matter when I put it in my calendar. She's gonna come on when she feels like it. And so for me, my body's on like a 25-day cycle. So
Yeah, that's me too.
if it comes on the first this month, it's going to come on 2 days or 3 days earlier next month. Then the following
Yeah.
month, 2 or 3 days earlier than that, you know? So again, getting back to what we said, everyone's different, but at the end of the day, it is so important that you are your biggest cheerleader, that you are your greatest advocate, because you have this, you are the only person who holds your womb. And it's your
Yes.
responsibility to make sure you're doing whatever you can to preserve it, if that's what you want to do. You
Absolutely.
know?
Absolutely. So yeah, so let's definitely get into all the resources that you have for people right now and how they're gonna get benefit from that.
Yeah, so I do one-on-one coaching. Click the link in my bio. You can schedule a call with me. It's a 1 hour. And we just talk about just talk about your whole situation, and I can help you put together a plan of action. Meaning, okay, well, next step, you may want to consider going holistic. Next step, you may possibly want to consider, minimally invasive, or based on your situation, you may want to consider major surgery. You may want to consider watchful waiting. That's number one. Number two, because a lot of people who go through their fibroid healing journey, they get all these bills in the mail, right? The bill from the doctor, the bill from the anesthesiologist, they have to pay for prescription drugs. If they pass out because of anemia, they have an emergency room bill and all these bills. So I've actually created this master class, and the master class is called Let's Be BFFs. And it's Become Financially Fit for Fibroids. It is a live 3-hour master class that I go through all the insurance jargon. It doesn't matter what part of this country you live in, it's just in medical insurance as a whole. So everything from medical, dental, life, and disability I talk about. It also explains, why a PPO plan may not necessarily be the best for you. They may work for some, may not be what you need. I can help people understand what questions to ask your doctor, or what questions to ask your insurance carrier, what information to have submitted to the insurance carrier to have all your bills, and not all of your bills, but to have your claim paid, and so much more. How to lower your taxable income, how to really decipher your explanation of benefits. What does it really, really mean? Because if you're getting all these bills in the mail, like for example, one of my friends, her daughter had bone cancer, and so she was going through cancer treatment for years on end. And so, she was getting bills from the hospital, bills from the anesthesiologist, all these, she didn't understand it. So just being able to have that expert, I've been doing this for 21 years. I do have two degrees, 3 professional designations. There's probably no insurance claim that I haven't seen before. But yeah, the main goal is for you to walk away being equipped with everything you need from a financial perspective, because oftentimes you hear people say insurance is so convoluted. It is. But if you have that person who can help guide you through the ins and outs of it, it's like a light bulb that goes off. Insurance is so expensive. It is, but what's the price you pay for the insurance on your cell phone, the insurance on your car, the insurance on our house? So this is insurance on you, so to speak. It's best to really, really thoroughly understand it. So my masterclass, Let's Be BFFs. And it's not just for people going through their fibroid healing journey. It's for anyone who wants to simply understand insurance. Why should I, what does open enrollment even mean when my employer has it? Like, what should I look for? Yeah. What should I ask? This will be the class. And actually click the link in the bio. Anyone who's participating in this live right now, or if you share it with someone, if you're interested, and it's actually tomorrow, Sunday, December 5th at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Again, tomorrow, Sunday, December 5th at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Anyone who's interested in participating, you can send me a DM and I will send you a promo code for 50% off. This is a one-time offer. So again, it's tomorrow. Anyone who wants to participate tomorrow, go ahead and send me a DM. I'll get that promo code over to you and you will receive an email by first thing tomorrow morning before we get started.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And I just definitely want to reiterate, when I talk about the 8 dimensions of wellness, one is financial wellness, and that's not one that I'm an expert in. I'm always referring people to when it comes to financial wellness. And this is something that I've brought out with a lot of my clients, because my clients are very diverse. Like when it comes to the physical wellness portion, a lot of them have been trying to eat right and they don't know why they can't fix their things. And so we create their personalized nutrition. But then from the emotional wellness standpoint, a lot of them also, I'm working with their nutrition and making sure they know if they don't have enough vitamin B or omegas, and then doing just different mindfulness practices. And I'm finding a lot of them don't know that some of that stuff can be covered by insurance. Yes. So make sure you have your HSA, make sure you have your FSA, see what it covers. Yes. Because I am allergic to dairy, and because I have a great doctor that says everyone needs a multivitamin, and because I have had a history of depression, I have a prescription for my vitamins. And I told my hematologist recommended a specific synthetic supplement for my iron. I said, no, I don't want to take that. I want to take this. And I told him I was going to take a liquid supplement that was food-based. He said, that looks expensive, but I guess that's all right if that's what worked for you. So my supplements are covered by my
Yes.
HSA
People
because
don't
I
know that.
requested a prescription from my doctor.
Exactly.
Some of the techniques that I do fall under the category of
Yeah.
acupuncture. That can be covered by your HSA. So again, I just want to, if you guys don't know these things, this is definitely a master class that you need to have under your
And I'm
belt.
so glad you mentioned that because I literally just posted about that the other day about acupuncture and mental health and substance abuse. You know, some people who go through fibroid suffering, they become substance dependent upon substance abuse. They start popping all these pills because the pain is so debilitating. Substance abuse falls under the mental health category and it is a covered benefit. A lot of people would never know that, but these are things that someone like me can tell you. And I can even tell you, you know, what documents to go look for to verify this information. So absolutely, you know, I mean, I'm excited about it. I can't wait. I'm going to be, you know, so, you know, geared up and ready to go tomorrow. So again, those of you who are listening to this live, or if you decide to share it with someone you know, feel free to send me a DM and I will send you a promo code for 50% off. And let's just become BFFs.
Now, question. So what if I can't be there live? Is this going to be uploaded to a platform where I can see it later as a
Great
class?
question. So yes, it is going to be a downloadable recording afterwards within 48 hours or so, contingent upon how quickly my web developer can get it up and running. But it is going to be available so you can listen to it at your own leisure. It's going to be available at a cost as well. So it will be available if you go to the Fibroid Pandemic and click the link in my, or either click the link in my bio. It's going to be available under the resources tab. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And lastly, don't forget, Run FAR 5K. FAR is an acronym for Fibroid Awareness and Resources. Set your calendar for July 23rd, 2020. July 23rd, I'm sorry, 2022.
Yes.
I told you that COVID, girl. That COVID got
We
me.
want to throw those 2 years
Right,
away.
right, right. July 23rd of 2022 here in the Atlanta, Georgia area will be my second annual Run FAR 5K. It is a run walk. Again, FAR is an acronym for Fibroid Awareness and Resources. We had our very first inaugural event this year in July. And it's so funny because probably about 4 weeks out, they were like, yeah, you're not going to get anybody to come. I had probably 30 registrants. And they're like, you're lucky if you get anywhere near 100. I ended up having about 160 my very first race. Had some really great sponsors. Number one, probably the most well recognized is New York Life. And I was able to get the Honey Pot as my sponsor. So, you know, and a lot of other small businesses as well. So definitely if you're in the Atlanta, Georgia area, or if you're not, if you would like to come visit, come on down and let's go ahead and run FAR together.
Yeah, maybe I will come this time, but I did do it virtually. I did it here on my local track virtually.
Sorry, no.
I mean, I didn't, yeah.
Did you get
So,
your t-shirt?
but yeah, I did get my
Okay,
t-shirt.
good.
I got my t-shirt and my medal. Yep.
Great, great, great.
So yeah, but yeah, we'll definitely talk about sponsorships because I'm doing a lot more of that in the upcoming year
Absolutely. And I still
as
got
I
to
take
do
on
your
more.
class too. I haven't forgotten about it. It's been crazy.
It happens. It
But
happens.
thank you
Well,
so
we
much.
had lots of
Yes.
interaction. Thank you guys for being here. We got up to like 12 participants as usual. I will make sure that I get this on YouTube so it's shareable and IGTV so it's easily accessible in the videos area. And we thank everyone for being here.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Tashina. Everybody have a
No
fantastic day.
problem.
Enjoy your weekend.
Bye.
Goodbye.